You spend weeks researching a complex proposal and building a case with multiple layers of evidence. Then, an opponent finds one small error, an irrelevant detail they can prove wrong, and concludes the entire argument is invalid. This is the trivial objections fallacy. It occurs when a critic focuses on a minor detail, leaving the primary structural points of the position unexamined. The focus shifts to the pebble while the wall remains standing. This tactic violates the rebuttal criterion. This rule of logic mandates that to truly challenge a position, you must address and respond to the strongest points of that argument, not just the weakest. Allowing a trivial objection to stand creates a false equivalence. It suggests that a minor surface error is as significant as a total structural collapse, which misrepresents the strength of the evidence and halts the search for truth. We see this fallacy take a few distinct forms, beginning with attacking an illustration. Imagine you tell a friend they should walk instead of driving for their health, and you suggest they walk to the cafeteria for lunch. They respond, "But I don't eat at the cafeteria." That response avoids the fundamental premise. The location of the lunch has no bearing on the biological health benefits of walking. Destroying an example does not destroy a rule. When a critic attacks a hypothetical illustration, they win a debate over a specific detail while entirely avoiding the core argument. The second variation targets a minor premise. A critic might look at a complex philosophical framework and dismiss the entire belief system solely by attacking a minor claim about a specific historical event. The critic targets this minor premise because it is an easier target than the major pillars. However, as you can see, you can shatter that thin column without the heavy roof of the conclusion shifting at all. This is different from a straw man fallacy because the minor flaw being pointed out is factually real, but proving a minor detail wrong is meaningless when the conclusion rests on multiple independent major supports. Let's test this in a practical scenario. A professor fails a student for 3 major reasons: failing the final exam, cheating, and missing assignments. The professor also adds a minor note that the student lacked class participation. The student counterattacks. They produce medical proof of a throat condition to excuse their participation. The student then claims that because the professor was wrong on that point, the entire failing grade is invalid. Pause here. Identify exactly why the student's argument fails and formulate the specific response the professor should give. The student's defense fails because it ignores the major evidence. The professor should concede the medical condition, then immediately redirect focus to the cheating violation. Conceding a minor truth does not invalidate the larger conclusion. This 3-step formula provides a method for managing trivial objections in live conversation without losing focus on the primary issue. Step 1. Explicitly acknowledge the minor flaw if your opponent is factually correct. Accepting a valid correction on a small detail removes that specific distraction from the table. By agreeing with the trivial point, you conclude the debate on that sub-issue. Steps 2 and 3. Firmly redirect the conversation toward the major structural supports of your position. Require your opponent to fulfill the rebuttal criterion by answering your strongest points rather than the weakest. You can also use this defensively. Preemptively state the minor flaws or known limitations of your own argument up front. By owning these details early, you remove the opportunity for them to be used as diversions later. By mastering this playbook, you refuse the distraction. You keep the debate focused on the strongest evidence, requiring both sides to grapple with the actual truth of the issue.